The Bulldogs had to fly through a snowstorm to get to Denver and now must survive the heat in a best-of-3 NCHC quarterfinal series against the Denver Pioneers. Game 1 starts tonight at Magnus Arena in Denver. Welcome, hockey fans, to Amsoil Arena in Duluth. I am Zach Schneider. Alongside me this evening is former UMD defenseman Jason Watt. Thanks very much for being with us. We obviously did not make the trip to Denver with the Bulldogs for this NCHC quarterfinal series, but we will be bringing you coverage of this weekend's games from here in Duluth, so we'll get you back out to Magnus Arena in just a few minutes for the drop of the puck. The Bulldogs are coming off a regular season closing sweep here at home against St. Cloud State, perhaps a galvanizing moment for this year's group at exactly the right time.
Yeah, certainly, Zach, you're looking for momentum to go into the playoffs. I mean, obviously much better than losing a couple games last weekend. It's been an up-and-down season for the Bulldogs, but, again, you're hoping this momentum carries over on the road into Denver. There's not a lot of pressure on the Bulldogs this weekend. You know, I feel like they can be a loose bunch and really let it hang out this weekend and try and pull off the upset.
We will take a look now at the lineups that these two teams will bring into tonight's series opener. First, for the Pioneers, they will be without both Massimo Rizzo and Carter King, two key pieces to their forward group. But, of course, the Booyums on the back end for Denver pose a significant challenge as always. And for UMD, they will be without the services of Jack Smith, who was hurt in last weekend's series against St. Cloud State. Also, Zach Stayskal will not be dressed tonight for the Bulldogs. That means that fifth-year senior, the transfer from Maine, Matthew Thiessen, will make another start for UMD here tonight between the pipes. That's after his 52-save performance last Saturday night against St. Cloud State. That was a career high. Denver will counter with Matt Davis tonight between the pipes. And with that, Waddy, we want to get into our Kohler keys to the game. Let's start with the home team tonight, the Denver Pioneers.
Yeah, Denver's going to want to get off to a fast start. They want to get that home crowd into the game right away. They're the ranked top 5 team in the country. Fast start's imperative for them. Also, they want to use their depth. This is the highest scoring team in college hockey. They've got weapons all through the lineup. They want to use that depth, wear UMD out. And that's exactly what Denver's looking to do.
And how about for UMD? They finished 7th in the NCHC standings. They're playing this weekend at the 2 seed. Like you said, this would be an upset if the Bulldogs are able to advance to the Frozen Faceoff.
Yeah, and based on percentages, the Bulldogs actually have the edge all year on special teams. Not by much, but Bulldogs have had a really good power play all year, and their penalty kill's been solid. So to pull off a good road win, you want to have that special teams. You want to win that special teams battle. And also they've got to get great goaltending. Let's face it. You need great goaltending, and hopefully Thiessen's up to the challenge.
The Bulldogs did get great goaltending in last weekend's sweep over St. Cloud State. It was just the third time the Bulldogs have won back-to-back games in the same weekend this season. They'll try to do that again, but to do that, they must win starting tonight against Denver. These are always unique experiences. Jason and I will be here in Duluth with you throughout the duration tonight. The hockey will start right after this break in Denver. We'll get you out to Magnus Arena in Colorado right after this. The Pioneers and the Bulldogs drop the puck on My9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Welcome back. Tonight's game brought to you with the support of Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC. UMD, the 7 seed. Denver, the 2 seed. In this year's NCHC tournament, the playoffs start tonight. The last time these two teams met in the league playoffs was 2022. UMD beat Denver in the Frozen Faceoff semifinals, then went on to beat Michigan and earned a spot in that year's NCAA tournament. They then lost to the Pioneers in that year's regional final. Denver, of course, went on to win its 9th national title. This is one of those rivalries that ever since Denver beat UMD in the 2017 national title game in Chicago, that seems like it's been growing and growing, Jason.
It really is a great rivalry, and I know the Bulldogs haven't had the season they were looking to have this year, but hey, when these two teams put the skates on, it's on, and a playoff game, why not? This is going to be a lot of fun, and this Bulldog team has not gotten dominated in their own end for stretches. It's not like they've territorial-wise, been dominated all year. So I look forward to a really spirited game tonight.
It's a Denver team that's in the NCAA tournament. UMD must win 2 games this weekend to extend its season. 2 teams on the opposite ends of the spectrum as we begin. Thanks for joining us here on Friday night. You get a look there at Matthew Thiessen. He was spectacular throughout that game on Saturday night. Really kept the Bulldogs in it. And again, might be one of those moments, Waddy, that you can point to back if UMD is able to come out victorious this weekend. Last Friday, Saturday night against St. Cloud State might be a big reason why.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's what you want your goaltending. Heading into the playoffs, coming off a game like that is ideal for Coach Scott Sandlin and the Bulldogs.
Puck in the Bulldogs' end in the first 30 seconds. Back to the near side point. Zeev Buyum fires one in. That was blocked by Pionk to the far corner. He'll flip it out to center ice. Buyum back to get it for Denver. He moves it ahead. Devine into the zone, long shot. That was blocked to the far side. Steves will collect and flip back to center ice. Those are the top 2 goal scorers in the NCHC. Jack Devine, who's got the puck now. He's got 25 this year. Ben Steves for UMD, 24. Gallatin ahead at center. This is Biondi. 2-on-2 as they cross the line. Leaves it in the far circle. A shot. Davis makes the stop. That was Steves with the quick release. Pierce into the near corner. First shot on goal belongs to the Bulldogs in the opening minute and 15 seconds. Moving it ahead now is Harris. He'll gain the red line and dump it in. Pierce is back to collect it with both teams. It appears changing. We'll do our best to give you an idea of what's happening. You're seeing what we are seeing as we are here in Duluth. So some of our usual peripheral vision somewhat limited tonight, but we'll do our best as the game continues. Bettens the takeaway at center ice, tried to flip it in at the blue line. It got lost in the equipment of Loney, and now Thompson. He's canceled out by Goetz. Penalty coming here to UMD as Goetz got in the way of Aiden Thompson. Back to the point it comes. Ashcroft walks to the middle, extra attacker out for Denver. Ashcroft into the circle, a shot that was blocked away. Comes to Devine, he gives it at the point. Buckberger across in the circle, a shot, and a battle going on in front. That one missed the net. UMD gets a touch to it, and Denver will get the game's first power play.
Well, what led to that was Loney was trying to get the puck in deep and kind of fumbled with the puck on Denver's blue line.
Lose number 2, fire penalty for interference.
And Loney fumbled that puck, and you've got Goetz moving forward with the play, and he gets caught a little bit flat-footed as Denver's transitioning back the other way. He had to throw a little interference up in a 2-minute minor for the Bulldogs, and now we'll see what the Bulldog PK's got in him tonight.
Denver's power play pretty good, as you might imagine. They're 12th in the country, operating just over 24% for the year. Without 2 of their guns, Massimo Rizzo and Carter King, a one-timer from the far side. I think that got to Thiessen, who made the save into the corner, and UMD makes the clear in the opening 15 seconds of the Minnesota power play for Denver. Now a turnover in the Denver zone. Mangini walks in, missed on the stick side, shorthanded. That was Zeev Buyum, who fell over in the Pioneer zone. A unanimous first-team selection to the All-NCHC teams released this week. He's also nominated for the league's Rookie and Defenseman of the Year awards. That's his brother, Shea Buyum. Moves it back to the point. Zeev across in the corner. Tristan Brose. He gets it back at the near side half boards. Zeev Buyum. Brose walks in, down low. Devine tried a rising shot. Good save by Thiessen. Dubinsky wins his battle and clears for UMD.
Thiessen looks sharp so far. He's tracking the puck well. He just looks, his reactions are great. He's got good body language in there. So Thiessen looks like he's on top of things so far.
Could be his net for the duration of this season with the injury to Zach Stayskull. He was not dressed last Saturday night for senior night. Not dressed again for this game, the opening of the NCHC quarterfinals. Zach Sandy, the backup to Thiessen tonight after he got his collegiate debut and first win as a Bulldog last Friday night against St. Cloud State. Still 15 seconds to go on this Denver power play. Gallatin has the puck behind the goal, turns it over. Far side, back to the point, long shot. Thiessen makes the stop. Found that one through some traffic, and a face-off coming with 4 seconds to play in that Denver power play.
Yeah, real nice save there by Thiessen to track that. That thing was tattooed for the upper right corner, and again, he's seeing the puck well, tracking the puck well. I don't think there was much of a screen on this one. There's a real nice shot at that one. Actually, fairly routine save once you see that through without the traffic there, but still on top of his crease and very aggressive. Good to see.
He talked about that a bit this week, saying the guys have done a good job the last couple starts he's made of letting him get a lane for the first shot. If he can see the first one cleanly, control the rebounds, he feels more in control of the game. That's what he talked about on that Saturday night win last weekend. Now you add to that a couple spectacular Superman diving saves.
Yep.
And you've got a complete performance, I suppose. Power play's over here for Denver. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. That puck knocked down. Taken back by UMD now. This is Pionk with it in his own zone. 5 minutes gone here in the opening period. Bulldogs dump it in. Davis will move it around to the far side. Up to center ice it comes. 3-on-2 as they cross the blue line. Drop pass. Good back check there. That was Bettens, I believe. No, it was Kyler Clevin on the back pressure for UMD. And now it's Goetz who starts the charge for the Bulldogs. Knocked in by Steves. Zeev Buyum moves it ahead. He's got the puck back now at center ice. Buyum circles back on the near side boards. Area pass to the far side. Walking in is his brother. That's Shea Buyum. The block shot by Luke Bast. Shea has it. Far side circle. Shea tries to knife through 3 Bulldogs defenders. Still controlling the puck. Tried to shovel it around to the far side. It's off the glass. And maybe off to the races is Steves, but he can't control cleanly on the near boards. Biondi centers through the top of the crease. And Denver will relieve the pressure. Long pass ahead, out of the reach of Steves, and an early icing here on UMD as the Pioneers start to turn up the pressure. Those Buyum brothers. Zeev, he's maybe going to be a top 10, certainly a top 20 draft pick, it seems, and he's been one of the best, if not the best defenseman in the entire league this year.
Well, and I thought I read the accolades that he's up for and has already received from the NCHC. I think the last defenseman to do that was Perinovich, as Bulldog fans know well. So that's the kind of level this kid is at right now. Really a fun player to watch, and one for Bulldog fans at home to keep an eye on.
His brother was drafted in the second round of the 2021 NHL draft by Detroit. His brother might get one up on him when that draft comes this coming summer. Centering pass now, saved by Thiessen. The rebound knocked just wide. Right on the doorstep, that was Lorenz for the Pioneers. Knocked out to center ice. We don't have statistics or the same view of the scoreboard that we have, but that's probably 5 or 6 saves for Thiessen here in the early going.
Yeah, it feels like it's maybe about 6-1 shots right now. So, Bulldogs want to start getting in Denver's head and playing down there a little bit.
After the Bulldogs had the first shot on goal, Denver's had the majority, if not all, of the pressure since then. Bros muscles it out to center to the near side. It's Harris, the fantastic freshman for Denver. He stops there. A long shot blocked before it got to Thiessen. Loney will move it ahead. They gain the red line, dump it in, and the Bulldogs will change. 7.5 minutes gone in the opening period. Still scoreless here for the Bulldogs and the Pioneers. Olvstead, he flips it in and will give chase. Bast pushes him to the end boards. 2-on-2 battle there. It comes to the near side corner. Sweeping at it, Olvstead. And the Bulldogs will control. Skating it to safety is Bast. He moves it ahead through McMenamin. They dump it in. Davis out to cut it off behind the goal. Low height. The Bulldogs captain. Turned over there at center ice. Denver tried to flip it back in, and now McMenamin shoots it into the Denver zone. Dogs will get another line change. Just skating it out now is Lucas Olfstad. No, rather that's Kent Anderson. Clevin indirectly behind the UMD goal. They play it out to center ice and will chip it in. Giving chase now is Braden Fisher. Dubinsky. Johnson. Now Pion. Jumps up into play. Pion. Pair of eights to the far side. Shea Buyum pushes him to the boards. It's soccer kicked ahead by McCade Webster. His sister McKenna Webster plays for the Ohio State women's team, who has a pretty big game tomorrow afternoon against the UMD women. After the Bulldogs survived a double overtime thriller last night against Connecticut in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. They get top-ranked Ohio State tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Well, we wish them the best, and yeah, it's certainly a thriller the other night. Wow.
UConn thought they had won earlier in the double overtime, but the goal brought back thanks to an offside review, offside challenge by UMD. And Manon McMahon, the Bulldogs captain, scored the winner about 8 minutes or so after that for UMD. So they'll get a chance at the Buckeyes. Back to the point, Pierce across for Gallatin. He flips it into the corner. Fighting through a check was Bettens, lost control of the puck, and Denver will clear ahead. This is Sabrian, tried to sidestep Pierce, who stepped up, separated him from the puck, and now Pierce has it along the near boards, flips it to center. Far side, Ashcroft. It comes back to the near side now, walking in is Lorenz. He'll dump it in. Gallatin is being chased along those near boards, gets some help from Loney. 3-on-3 battle along those near side boards. We're past the halfway point of period number 1. Long shot, that was blocked by Pierce. UMD's done already a good job of that, Jason, of getting in front of pucks, in front of their goaltender. Thiessen's made maybe 7 or 8 saves, but already 3 or 4 blocks for UMD.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to take, right? You're going to have to sacrifice your body, you know, that defense core, and certainly Pierce is one of the guys who leads the way in block shots. So anything to help that goaltender.
Now a takeaway for Denver, moving it ahead. This is Devine, has a stick lifted nicely by Pionk. His centering pass went through the top of the crease, but peeling off too early was Zebuyum, who has the puck back. A long shot. Pad save made by Thiessen. Thompson has it now, top of the far circle. His long shot deflected up, caught the high glass behind the goal of Thiessen. Denver starting to buzz in the offensive zone. Devine, long shot, blocked, collected by Harris. Shea Buyum to Zeev. He sidesteps McMenamin, feeds Thompson, trying to go to the backhand. It was knocked away. Boy, they're fun to watch when they get going in the offensive zone.
Well, we were talking pregame. They're the best team I think I've seen all year. Again, I caught them on, I think, when they were playing in Duluth. I was just very, very impressed with them. And you're splitting hairs when you're talking about some of the top teams like North Dakota and Wisconsin and whatnot. And I haven't seen BU and BC, but Denver's very impressive.
Across the line, this is Johnson in the high slot. A long shot deflected up out of play. The Bulldogs for now surviving. It's still scoreless at Magnus Arena on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. So far, so good for the visitors. UMD has survived the storm in the opening 12 minutes or so there in Denver, and they are still scoreless with the Pioneers.
Yeah, I thought UMD actually came out pretty well, and the penalty kind of took their steam away, kind of got Denver to collect themselves, handle the puck a bit, and then, you know, Thiessen's had to make some really nice saves, and some block shots by the defenseman of UMD's helped out.
Long shot from Bast is gloved and held by Matt Davis. Getting a good look there at the junior goaltender for the Pioneers. He's a lefty goaltender, Waddy. We talked about it when these two teams played here in Duluth. It's a bit of an optic challenge for some of the shooters on UMD.
It's a little different because you do get sort of trained in on where you're going if you're shooting away from glove side and going stick side. So yeah, it is different to face a lefty. No question about it. It's a great point, Zach. So we'll see if they can exploit his stick side here.
These two teams played just twice in the regular season. UMD didn't make the trip to Denver during the regular season. The Pioneers were here at Amsoil Arena. UMD scored 2 late goals on Friday night to take them to overtime, where they lost but got an extra point in the league standings, and then were pretty well blown out on Saturday. Denver scored 3 quick goals in that game, 3 in the opening 8 minutes or so, and the Bulldogs really never recovered from that. Although I thought they played better for stretches of Saturday than they did on Friday, but when you're down 3 goals to one of the best teams in the country, that's a big hill to climb. And so far tonight, they've done well to keep this game at 0-0.
Yeah, and you want to try to play from ahead on the road in the playoffs, obviously, right? But if Denver's got a little susceptible, they are a high-octane team, and their defense activate, and they'll sometimes give up some odd man rushes and maybe be a little loose in their own end, a bit. So hopefully the Bulldogs can exploit that this weekend.
3-on-3 as they enter here. Pierce fires a shot and a glove save made by Davis. Maybe the best chance for UMD since the opening 90 seconds or so of the hockey game.
Yeah, nice play by Pierce here. Hangs onto it and really placed that shot well. Nice save by Davis there. So, he's really coming into his own this year. He's really been improving as the years went on. So you can just see his confidence growing.
Pierce very unassuming when he's out on the ice or when you talk to him, and he's one of those guys that has earned the trust clearly of his head coach Scott Sadley. He says he's just a guy that's going to go out there, he's going to do what we ask, he's going to do it well, he's going to put his head down and work hard, and it's turned into more opportunities for him, and we'll see where the next couple seasons go for Joey Pierce.
Yeah, fun to watch these kids develop.
In the circle here, toe drag a shot, they score! McCade Webster, Denver's on the board first, it's 1-0.
Yeah, nice pull move by Webster on that shot. And again, you're talking about, he's got 27 points on the season, and there's just skill throughout their lineup, and you can see it on display right here. A little bit of a miscommunication, really, from the Bulldog defenders here. Kind of had 2 defensemen going to one guy. Dubinsky got kind of sucked back into the middle where Pionk was, and they left Webster alone, and they make you pay for those mistakes.
The Denver captain scores his 11th goal of the year, puts the Pioneers on the board first. Just over 13 minutes into this opening period. And now the Bulldogs playing from behind. Not a spot you want to be against one of the nation's top teams. We'll see if the Bulldogs can respond here in the final 6.5 minutes of the opening frame. That was what happened on that Saturday night game here in Duluth, is they got 1 in the opening 30 seconds, and before the Bulldogs could really blink, that snowballed and turned into 2, turned into 3. If the Bulldogs can have a couple good shifts here, even if they can't score in this first period to tie the game, if you can get into the locker room 1-0, I think you'll take that, especially on the road in a playoff game.
Yeah, no question. What you don't want to do is, a team like Denver can score in bunches, and you want to prevent that. You don't want them getting 3 goals in 2 minutes, that type of thing. So you're right. These next couple shifts, it's imperative they put together some good shifts and, keep Denver off the board.
Pionk in the corner here for UMD. The puck comes free into the circle. Back to the point it comes. Long shot. Dubinsky tipped in front. That was wide off the stick of Clevin. Into the near side circle. Good response here so far for the Bulldogs. Johnson high in the slot. Tried to knife his way through. Drew a penalty. It comes to Fisher, and they'll draw the whistle. A penalty coming to Denver. The Bulldogs down 1-0. That will be after the break. McCade Webster as the Bulldogs up 1-0. Bulldogs to the power play when we come back on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV network.
Number 11, 2-minute minor, hooking.
Back to live action, the Minnesota power play underway here for UMD, the Dogs' first of the game. They're just under 27% on the year. 6th best in the country are the Bulldogs with the man advantage. Going back to your keys to the game, Waddy, one of them was win the special teams battle.
Yeah, and here's a chance. They've killed a penalty, and here's a chance to get on the board with that power play. It was really hot early in the year, but it's still finishing 6th in the country. It's been a bright spot for the team, certainly all year long.
Olsen to Pionk at the point. In the circle, Steves. That's the guy. He's got 24 goals on the year. Gives it off to Olsen. Back to Pionk. They're man-marking Steves, it looks like, as they shovel it to the near side. Olsen fires one that was blocked high and wide. They've got somebody going with Steves wherever he goes on the power play. He's got the puck in the corner now. Behind the net. Gets it back in the corner. Trying to go back to low height behind the goal. It's knocked away by Denver, and the Pioneers clear with 50 seconds to go on the man advantage.
Well, that opens up opportunities for other guys. So if they're overcompensating on Steve, there should be guys more wide open. It gives opportunities. So
from the looks of it, David Carl and staff has said if UMD is going to score on the power play, it's not going to be number 6. Number 2 unit out there. Gallatin fires one wide for the Bulldogs. Bouncing puck is collected, and now Denver maybe a shorthanded chance. This is Shea Buyam into the circle. He fires one that was directed up out of play with 23 seconds to go on the power play.
That's some good puck movement there. Didn't really get much on net though for shots. You know, they moved it around pretty well, but definitely keying on Steve's Denver, and yeah, Carl's not going to die by the Steve's sword. So we'll watch that as the weekend unfolds, of course.
You know what? And when you look at it up and down the roster, it's hard to blame him. Ben Steves first on the team with 24 goals. Luke Lowhite with 9. Blake Biondi 8. Anthony Mangini 8. Those are the next 3 highest goal scorers for UMD. So it's no secret, and has not been for quite some time, who the most dangerous goal scorer on this UMD team is. Biondi. He tries to knife through the middle into the circle. Perkins trying to center. It comes to McMenamin. Final 5 seconds of the UMD power play. Denver will clear it to center ice, and we're back to 5-on-5 with 3.5 minutes to go in the period. The power play unsuccessful. Nothing much to the front of the net. They had some puck possession, but that was about it for UMD. This is Bros in the corner. To the far side, Bettens. He's cut off at the half boards. Loney has his pocket picked as he tried to clear the zone, able to muscle it out to center ice, but Denver controls in the Pioneers zone. Behrens, they'll flip it in. Bouncing puck dealt with there by Thiessen. Behrens, I was one of them, Waddy, was maybe the guy who a lot of people thought might be the best defenseman on this this Denver roster this year. Rightfully so. He's a junior. He's a Colorado Avalanche draft pick. He's been somewhat overshadowed, but he's on that top pairing with Zeev Buyam, and he's still a solid defenseman for this Pioneers team, but somewhat overlooked. Yeah, with the 2 brothers there, and then I mean, he is a little overshadowed, but tremendous defenseman, obviously, and he's been really good in this league for a few years now. A lot of draft picks on this Denver roster up and down. Their entire top 2 lines that are dressed tonight, drafted into the NHL. Yeah, I counted 12 before the game, 12 draft picks, so it's impressive. 2 minutes to go here in the opening period. McMenamin knocked down. Penalty coming here to Denver. It's a good call. And UMD will get a second chance on the power play with just over 2 minutes to go in the opening period. Yeah, Denver defenseman doesn't like that one, but Mangini's always moving his feet, Zach. He draws those penalties.
Number 9, Denver, 2-minute minor interference.
That was McMenamin who got knocked down by Tristan Lemire. Or no, they're going to get 9. Boston Buckberg.
Yeah, that was McMenamin. My bad. But yeah, that's an easy call for the officials.
And so UMD to its second power play of the game, and maybe an important one if they can cash in here, get a goal near the end of the opening period. You call that a really good road period for the Dogs. No question. They've got the rest of the period basically to be on the power play. So I think it's imperative they get some shots here, though. They had good puck movement the last one. Now they got to get some shots. Minnesota power play underway for UMD. Top unit out there to start. Pionk has it. Top of the point. Moves it to Dubinsky. Fires, and that's swallowed up by Davis. Just like Thiessen we talked about earlier in the period, Davis had a clear look at that shot.
He did. You know, you want to get traffic in front. They're obviously looking for number 6, Steves, but you know, if he's not there, you've got to get traffic in front, and you saw that clearly. There wasn't anyone in front, and that's an easy save for a quality goaltender like Davis.
Like you say, if Denver's going to basically man-mark Steves the rest of the game on the power play, it really creates what is essentially a 4-on-3 for the other guys. That's a lot of space. He's not the only guy that can put the puck in the net for UMD, so we'll see how the Bulldogs respond to this, if they can get set up again, and if Denver continues to just kind of chase Steves around the offensive zone. Pionk, drop pass at the blue line. UMD will enter. They wrap it around to the near side. Low height at the point. They feed Steves down the wall. It comes to him now. Back to low height. Across for Dubinsky. 1:15 to go on the power play. Across for Steves. Near side point. Olsen. Pionk from the point. Lines and fires. It was blocked in front. Dubinsky collects it with 60 seconds to go on the power play. 1:05 in the period. Pionk. Dubinsky fires. Tipped in front and wide. Olsen will collect. Back to the point. Pionk. Dubinsky. Drive. That might have caught the post. Comes back to the point where Steves has it. Better looking power play here for UMD. Pionk across for Olsen. Steves in front. That one missed the net, looking for a tip from low height. Shoveled into the corner. Still 30 seconds to go on the power play. Olsen. To the point, Pionk. Across for Olsen. Just a bit behind him. Pionk for Olsen. Wanted the one-timer, thinks better of it. Dubinsky, Pionk. Dubinsky, a drive. It came to the near side and cleared away by Denver. Lurking just beyond that defender was Ben Steves.
That was the right play. I don't think he quite got all of it.
And now Pionk a takeaway in the defensive zone. He caught an edge, wanted a penalty, didn't get it. And Thiessen comes up big at the end of that period for UMD, makes the stop, and the first period ends with Denver leading 1-0. That could have been a catastrophe for UMD, as McCade Webster was almost Johnny on the spot. Made a bid at his second of the game, did the Denver captain, but in the end, he and the Pioneers will carry that 1-goal lead into our first intermission. The Super One Foods Intermission Report starts right after this on My Nine Sports, the Gray TV network. Welcome back here to Duluth and an empty Amsoil Arena out in Denver. The Pioneers are leading UMD 1-0 after one period in Game 1 of their best-of-3 NCHC quarterfinal series. Welcome back to our very quiet My Nine Sports broadcast booth here in Duluth. Zach Schneider, Jason Watt here with you. All in all, not a terrible period for UMD. You think maybe they certainly would have liked to cash in on one or both of those power plays near the end, but you trail Denver 1-0 after 20 minutes, and you're still in the game going forward.
Yeah, not bad. You know, that's how you draw penalties, is moving your feet. So, you know, they're drawing penalties. That's a good thing. Thiessen came to play. We wanted that to happen. That's happening so far. He looks extremely sharp. They're drawing penalties. So now, you know what? They gave up a goal, kind of on a little bit of a misread on a defensive read. But 1-0 on the road, you know, against a top 5 opponent in the country. I think they'll take that. But, you know, it's imperative you don't let the game slip away and play from behind. So, I mean, that next goal is pretty big. I don't want to say it's, you know, not that you can't come back from a 2-0 deficit, but the next goal is big. They want to stay in this game.
It has been a season, admittedly, without a ton to be super optimistic about. UMD has gone through its fair share of struggles, but last weekend against St. Cloud State, to close out the regular season, you get 2 big wins here at home. Now you go to Denver, one of the best teams, certainly in the league, certainly in the country, we think, as they're a lock to make the NCAA tournament. They're ranked 3rd in the country this year if you put any stock into the Human USCHO poll. But for UMD, it feels like maybe, just maybe, they're starting to press the right buttons at the right time of year. And last weekend, I think, gave the team, the coaches, and the community so much hope going into a series like this.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off a sweep against a rival, and they St. Cloud's a good quality hockey team. So, and you always like to beat former Bulldog coach Brett Larson, of course. But the right things happened last weekend to go into a series like this. So I think the team has jumped tonight. They look confident out there. They're just against a real high-end opponent. There's not many better you could play this weekend. So I think so far so good. It looks pretty good.
Speaking of pushing the right buttons, the UMD women's hockey team did just that last night in a 1-0 double overtime win over UConn in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Manon McMahon scored the game-winning goal. Eve Gascon made 33 saves in her NCAA tournament debut. She earned her 7th shutout of the season. That's the most ever by a UMD freshman goaltender on the women's side of things. And to the victors goes a date with top-ranked Ohio State. The Bulldogs and the Buckeyes will square off tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central. They're in Columbus. The winner of that game will advance to the Frozen Four this year, so a lot on the line for head coach Maura Kroll and her Bulldogs. We will update you about the results of that game during tomorrow night's broadcast here, Game 2 between UMD and Denver. On the men's side, you can also watch it for free on Big Ten Plus tomorrow afternoon. Out in Denver, the Pioneers lead the Bulldogs 1-0 after 20 minutes. We'll take a break here in Duluth. The Super One Foods Intermission Report continues right after this on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Back to Colorado we go for period number 2 tonight between UMD and Denver. McCade Webster, the Pioneers captain, had the only goal of the opening frame. He and Denver lead 1-0 as we head into the middle period. Taking a look at the stats through the opening 20 minutes. UMD, much to our surprise, Jason, actually led the shots on goal department officially 6-5. Denver dominated in the faceoffs, and neither team was able to cash in on their power play chance in the opening period.
Yeah, difference in the game really is just one really tremendous skill play by Denver on their goal, by one of their top end forwards, and that's really the difference in the period. Otherwise, pretty even really. It was kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit. UMD came out pretty well. Denver took over for the middle part, and then UMD got those power plays and sort of at least got some puck possession, kept the puck out of their own end. So I guess that's one way to look at it. If you're not scoring on the power play, you've got 4 minutes where they're not in your end attacking either. So again, 1-0 here, and UMD's in a pretty good spot.
As you say, the next goal could be a big one. Get down 2-0 to a team like Denver, and it becomes a much harder challenge. But if UMD can pop the next one, I thought they were close in that second power play. Much better puck movement, a couple more shots toward the goal. I think Aiden Dubinsky caught the goal post, if what we're hearing is correct. But much better movement in that second power play than the first.
No question. They were moving the puck better. And I think maybe they were adjusting to them cheating on Steves a little bit too. So maybe there's a little adjustment made on the bench there from the coaching staff. So again, they're going to have to get that power play going though.
So here we go, the second period from Denver. Thanks for joining us, Zach Schneider, Jason Watt. We are here with you in a very lonely, very quiet, and now dark Amsoil Arena. Enjoying the sights and sounds from Colorado along with you on this Friday night. Game 1 of this best-of-3 series between these two teams. The winner gets a spot in the NCHC Frozen Faceoff next weekend at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul. Denver, the only team in the league never to have missed the Frozen Faceoff. They've been there all 9 times the tournament has been held. UMD trying to deny the Pioneers what would be a 10th straight trip to that Frozen Faceoff. These two teams have met in the quarterfinal round only once before. That was back in 2015. Denver swept that series 2-0. Walking in now, a shot from Zeev Buyum.
Nice block by Bast on that.
He either blocked it or Buyum just kind of fumbled it off the heel of his stick. Now back on the attack, Devine centering pass and tied up going to the middle was one of the Pioneers. A couple good looks in the opening minute and 15 seconds of the second period for Denver. Steve chases the puck to the far side. Denver will clear out to center ice. Across the line, this is Zeev Buyum again toward the middle. Great save by Thiessen. The puck's still free, top of the crease area. Now it's underneath him. What a great move by Buyum, and actually Gallatin's got the puck and will skate it to center ice for UMD. Thiessen's best save of the night for the Bulldogs.
Unbelievable. And Buyum, boy, he's an impressive defenseman to watch, though. He just very smooth and very deceptive with his puck handling. He just kind of filtered his way in there. But again, Thiessen up to the challenge.
He had an impossible angle and almost was able to slide it actually toward the far post around Thiessen, who just kind of sprawled to make the stop for UMD. Back on the attack is Denver. This is Thompson at the near point. He will leave it for Shea Buyum. He's defended along the near boards. And a penalty coming to UMD. We'll see who the guilty party is, slashing the call, and Denver will go to its second power play of the game with a chance to double its lead to 2.
Number 26, Minnesota Duluth, 2-minute minor slashing.
Anthony Mangini gets the penalty. 2.5 minutes in now to the second period. Minnesota power play for Denver.
Yeah, you're playing with fire a little bit. Here's Mangini. Yeah, I don't know. Looked a little ticky-tacky to me, but they call that. So, UMD's down, and they got to get back on the kill here and get in those lanes with sticks, just like we saw there. Block shots, active sticks, make life difficult for this Denver power play and take away those passing and shooting lanes.
That was Mikko Matica, who was on the receiving end of that slash from Mangini. Two really good freshmen in the NCHC this year. We've talked about Mangini all year for the Bulldogs, been one of their best newcomers. Matica, a unanimous selection to the league's all-rookie team this week. 16 goals, 11 assists. He's a draft pick of Arizona. One of the talented youngsters they have there in Denver. 15 seconds gone on the power play. The Pioneers control the puck. Back to the point. This is Buyum. It's Zeev. Moves to the middle. Far circle, walking in. Tipped in front. Baseball swing in front. And that puck is going to be cleared by UMD. I think that was Sam Harris who tried to knock that puck out of midair right in front of the goal for the Pioneers. Now Buyum will drop it at his own blue line. This is Devine with some speed. Hands off for Shea Buyum. Back to Zeev. Far side point. Zeev at the middle. He walks in for Shea. One-timer, a drive, and Dubinsky blocks and clears for UMD.
Beautiful block by Dubinsky there, paying the price, and that's what it's going to take. And just sacrificing your body. It's that time of year, Zach, playoff time. And there's nothing to save it for at this point. But that's what it's going to take. And that was, Denver had some good puck movement there. There wasn't much to do except try to block the shot, and they did a nice job on that.
Zeev tried to move into the corner, lost an edge, lost the puck. Bodnarchuk, the extra skater for UMD. First time I've said his name tonight. He's out there on the kill and gets a big clear here for the Bulldogs. 30 seconds to go and the man advantage for the Pioneers.
Yeah, Bodnarchuk's had two nice clears on this PK, so maybe they're kind of specializing him a little bit tonight just on the PK. So far, very effective. He's a big body, long stick.
Matica missed the net on that sharp angle shot on the stick side of Thiessen. It caroms all the way back to the Denver side of the ice. 15 seconds to go. Time for one last rush on the power play. It's Thompson. Tried to weave his way through the defense. Barons now to Thompson behind the goal. This is Bodnarchuk around the glass, and that's out of play. The faceoff, I think, will stay in the UMD zone. We're back to 5-on-5 as you see Mangini released from the penalty box.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on the PK is really good sign for UMD. Again, that might have been their second. That was their second power play. Excuse me. So 2 for 2 on the PK for the Bulldogs. So so far the special teams has been even. So
almost 5 minutes gone here in the second period. Denver is still protecting that 1-goal lead. McCade Webster, the senior captain, the only goal of the game thus far. It came midway through the opening period for the Pioneers. Back to the point, Shea Bouillon, the long shot, glove save made by Matthew Thiessen, and he has continued to be sharp for UMD.
Again, I sound like a broken record, but he's tracking the puck. He's seeing the puck well. He's on top of his crease. He looks aggressive. He's on his game tonight. So be nice to see the Bulldogs give him some support here and get some play down in the Denver end.
Behrens fires it in for Denver. Gallatin has his pocket pick. Capone centers to the far side it goes. Behrens knocks it away from Biondi. Lemire along the near boards into the circle, cuts to the middle. Gets it back to the point now. Buckberger, Lemire, long shot, hit bodies in front. UMD's blocked probably 10 or 12 shots, I would think, through the opening half of this hockey game. They've been really good about letting Thiessen see the puck, but also getting in those shooting lanes when they can and knocking it away before it gets to him. Now a takeaway for UMD. This is Bettens walking right into the forehand, and a great defensive play. It was swiped away by Sean Behrens for the Pioneers. Back to the point, Pionk, a long shot. Hit bodies in front, and Denver will clear to center ice.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Bettens and an even better play by Behrens with his stick there. That's the veteran presence of we were talking about Behrens earlier. Real quality defenseman in college hockey. Made a nice, goal-saving play there.
I mean, the Bouillons are good in their defensive zone as well. I think Behrens might be maybe have a leg up on them defensively, but that's his real value to this team. You talk about the Bouillons, and often you're talking about their smooth skating and their offensive production. Behrens, I think, maybe goes overlooked because he's more simple and he does stuff just like that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, correct. Almost like if Bulldogs fans remember, Mikey Anderson was a lot like that. Just solid and plays a 200-foot game and just makes great decisions on the ice and great defensive positioning as well.
Mikey Anderson was another who, even in his time here, was really quietly a lot of times the best defenseman on the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, correct.
Johnson now for the Bulldogs tries to drive wide. Shea Bouillon directs him to the end boards and away from the puck. Denver will clear to center ice. Shoveled to the middle. Shot in by Harris. We're out of the near side. This is right off the boards. It comes to Lowhite. He cuts up the middle, but controls the puck for UMD to the blue line where it's held by Harris. Devine has it in the corner. He's bothered by the check of Gallatin. Centering pass. It went just past Harris and flipping it out ahead of McMenamin for UMD. Into the corner. He blew a tire. And a penalty coming out of McMenamin as he tripped up one of the Pioneers. Denver back to the power play with 12:41 to go. That's when we come back. 1-0 Pioneers leading it on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Back to live action there in Denver. One-timer to start this power play. That was Buckberger. It was blocked off by UMD. Behrens to the far circle. Tried to slide it back across for Buckberger. Behind the net it goes. Minnesota power play here for the Pioneers. Their third of the game thus far. 0 for their first two. Thompson defended on the near boards by Olsen. Gets some help now from Goetz. He shovels it up for Olsen, who will clear. 30 seconds gone in this power play chance for Denver. Matica to the far side, entering the blue line. Into the corner it goes. UMD the first one there. It comes to Thompson in the circle. Tried to center for Devine. Bouncing puck. It's cleared by UMD. 60 seconds gone in the power play for Denver.
Yeah, nice job again by the Bulldogs. Disrupting, getting in lanes, etc. So making life difficult for this Denver power play so far.
Top unit over the boards now for the Pioneers with 50 seconds to play in the power play. Another clear here for UMD. The penalty kill halfway through the game here. Waddy has been really, really strong for the Bulldogs. They've kept this game at a 1-0 score. Yeah,
it's been really good. And Carl started with the second unit at the top of this power play. So now he's got his top unit out there. We'll see Bulldogs can kill this last 30 seconds.
They get another clear here with 25 seconds to go in the power play. 11 minutes to go in the second period.
Not a lot of whistles in this game. Been a lot of flow. Been fun to watch.
This is Zeev Buyum in the circle. Bros transferred 2 seasons ago from Minnesota. Back to the point, Buyum. Bros walks into the circle, across. Shea Buyum through the crease area, and it bounces past Bros out to center ice. McMenamin is free. We're back to 5-on-5. Nearly halfway gone here in the second period. Denver leading 1-0. Up the far boards, it's held by Wright. He gets it back now, fires one. That was deflected wide along the near boards. Bodnarchuk will lift it out to center ice. McMenamin giving chase in the corner. He and Anderson fight for it there along the boards. Wright across for Lorenz. He's in a foot race with Goetz. Darian Goetz this week announced as one of the finalists for the NCHC's Sportsmanship Award. Like to think he has a chance at winning it, but he's up against Vidi Miettinen from St. Cloud State. I just read a stat earlier today from Brad Schlossman of the Grand Forks Herald. He covers North Dakota throughout the year. Vidi Miettinen has played 4 seasons, over 150 games in the league. He has not taken a single penalty.
He's going to get the Sportsmanship Award. We wish Darian the best, but I think he's got an uphill battle.
I did not know that last
That's
weekend
an unbelievable
when St. Cloud
stat.
State was in Duluth.
Not even an accidental trip.
Yeah, fantastic. And so I kind of rooting for, wish the best for Darian Goetz, but not many players can play that much and be that impactful without a single penalty on their record. And you know that Schlossman has now jinxed him, and he'll take a couple penalties in this weekend's series. A long shot from Dubinsky is gloved and held by Davis. Some pushing and shoving in front between Loney and Capone. 9:01 to go here in the second period as UMD now tries to fight back. They've taken 2 penalties in the first half of the second period. Haven't been able to get much going offensively, so you've killed those off, and now you've got to play in Denver's zone here in the next 9 minutes or so.
You've got to sustain some pressure here. Here we got a power play here.
Yeah,
so.
I think they're going to take just Capone out of that pushing and shoving match with Loney. They are indeed, and UMD will get its 3rd power play right on cue as we're talking about trying to find some more offense for the Bulldogs. UMD will get its 3rd Minnesota power play of the game.
I think I'm looking for Steves to be a little more active and be a little more involved in this power play, even though they are cheating on him a little bit. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Denver wins the face-off. They get it out to the blue line, but it's not out. Far side, Lowhite into the corner. Try to go back to the point. It's picked off by Denver. They'll skate it to center ice. Shorthanded chance, 3-on-2 as they cross the line. This is Barron's blocker save made by Thiessen as he fired that one high on the stick side of the UMD senior netminder. Some high pressure here, shorthanded for Denver. That creates some problems on the zone exit for UMD. Olsen has it, moves it to the far side. Steves ahead, he mishandled the puck. Olsen on the support, but it's dumped in to the UMD zone. 45 seconds already gone on the power play. Denver able to do that on their penalty kill. They give you a couple different looks throughout a game. It's not just one thing that they're doing. This time it's high pressure. They've had 2 high forwards. Both times UMD has been trying to exit their defensive zone.
Yeah, great pickup. They are mixing it up a bit. And I think it does have. It certainly has UMD baffled on their exits on this particular power play, and that's a good job of mixing things up on Denver's coaching staff's part.
60 seconds to go in the UMD power play with that puck out of play. 8 minutes in the second period as a whole, with UMD still trailing Denver 1-0 on the shoulders of a McCade Webster goal, his 11th of the year. That one coming in the first period. Second unit over the boards for UMD on this power play. Perkins will draw against Sabrian at center ice. Denver again wins the face-off. It's been a common theme here tonight. 11-3 the draws were in the opening period, and they haven't gotten much better for UMD here in the second.
Yeah, it's been a tough thing for them all year. It's really been an Achilles heel, and it really affects your puck possession numbers when you're losing draws.
Biondi walks in, fires a shot that was blocked, and another clear here by Denver.
Yeah, nice shot by again. Denver kind of mimicking what UMD's doing on the penalty kill, getting in lanes, active sticks, blocking shots, and Biondi with a nice chance, and Denver just shuts it right down.
15 seconds to go in the power play as UMD enters the zone once more. Webster the takeaway, and the Pioneers get a clear. That should just about do it on the Bulldogs' man advantage. Each team going to be 0 for 3 on the power play, just past the halfway point here in the second period. 7 minutes to go, and Denver up 1-0. We're back to 5-on-5. Tipped into the zone, Davis out to play it. Hard on the forecheck was Luke Johnson. It comes up the near boards, and skating it to center ice will be Denver. That's Capone out of the box for the Pioneers. Pushes it behind the goal. Bros will give chase on the far boards. 2-on-2 battle ensues there. Bros has it behind the goal. Devine, top of the crease area for Denver. It comes to the point. Barons, long shot through bodies. Thiessen makes the save. It's cleared to center ice by UMD with 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Bros ahead at the line. Zivbuyum. 1-on-2 at the far side. Centering pass. Sliding it towards the front. Sprawling save by Thiessen. The puck still free. No whistles. Whacking at it. There they score. Jack Devine finds the loose puck in front. He doubles the lead. It's 2-0 Denver.
Yeah, Thiessen just couldn't quite. I mean, he made the first, second, maybe even the third save on that one, Zach, and just too many extra chances at that one. The puck squirts loose. Devine Johnny on the spot buries it, and UMD had a lot of whacks at it, and it just couldn't quite come up with it and clear it out of there. And unfortunate for the Bulldogs, really, but that's now they're down by 2. They've got an uphill climb now.
A couple of really good looks at that. The second, third, fourth effort. Jack Devine won the league scoring title this year with 25 goals. That's his 26th. He was an all-NCHC first-teamer, finalist for the league's Player of the Year award. He gets number 2 on the night for Denver. And the Pioneers up 2-0 with 6 minutes to play now in the second period. Bast off the boards out to center ice. Well, if we thought the next goal was important when it was 1-0, doubly important now that it's 2-0.
Yeah, the Bulldogs got to start getting some shots on net. They just, don't get too cute with it. Just get things on net, crash the net, maybe get a greasy one here on the road. So, but you got to start by getting the puck in their end.
Yeah, it's interesting because it feels like through the first period and a half now of this game, UMD has really tried to play what we call a ground game in hockey and really just force Denver to go 200 feet, not make mistakes that are going to make it easier for the Pioneers to counterattack, to get their offense going. But now that you're down by 2, things have to start loosening up a bit for UMD. They have to start pushing forward, and does that open opportunities for some of Denver's superstars to expand the lead?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. They were keeping things to the outside and keeping Denver really out of the danger areas for the most part. But now you're down by 2. You've got to probably start to open it up a little bit and take some chances offensively. So,
long shot. Oh, rebound was right in front. I think that was Buckberger on the doorstep for Denver. Couldn't get his stick free. UMD fortunate there, and they'll clear out to center ice. This is McMenamin. He shoots it in. Biondi, the first one there in the corner. He's bothered by Buckberger. That puck comes free for Denver. Out to center ice it comes. Jared Wright at the UMD line. He shovels it in. Giving chase is Rieger Lorenz. He's pushed to the wall by Pionk for UMD. He tried to center. It comes to the slot. A save by Thiessen. That was Weiermeyer, I believe, with the shot for Denver. Comes out to the blue line. This is Zivbuyum. Back to the point. This is Barons into the circle. He's defended by Perkins. Still it's Barons. He hands off at the far side. Now Buyum. He tried to center. Got it as far as Lorenz, and a whistle coming. I believe a penalty to UMD. Hooking on the Bulldogs. It's 2-0 Denver, and the Pioneers to the power play when we come back on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Hooking the call on UMD's Ben Steves puts Denver on the Minnesota power play for the 4th time tonight. A chance for the Pioneers to stretch their lead to 3. Early clear by the Bulldogs. 15 seconds already gone on the power play. 3.5 to play here in the middle period. Important spot here for the Bulldogs. Their penalty kill has been really good so far tonight. That needs to continue. If Denver's able to pop a third here going into the intermission, that might be an early dagger here on Friday night.
Yeah, this would be a great time to keep their penalty kill prowess going tonight on night 1. So just keep what they're doing, really, with nope.
Can't get it clear there. It's held at the line into the circle. A shot towards the front. Thiessen makes the save, and fighting for a rebound was Devine. Bodnerchuk keeps him at bay, and the puck covered up with a face-off coming. You can see through the last couple minutes why Jack Devine led the league this year. He outscored UMD's Ben Steves by 1, 25-24, the final tally for the NCHC goal-scoring lead. But Devine, a really talented player, but he goes to the top of the crease area as well. That's something that we haven't seen a lot from Ben Steves. He's a little bit smaller.
Yep.
He scores most of his goals as a shooter. Jack Devine can get those greasy ones like we just saw in that second one for Denver.
Yeah, I've seen him all over the crease so far in this game. I was just going to say the same thing, so great point, Zach. Different players, of course, but that's where he makes his living, right around that blue paint, does Devine, and glad he's off the ice right now when they're onto that second unit.
45 seconds to go. Buckberger fires one off the shoulder of Thiessen. It pops up high in the air, and a hand pass called, I believe, against UMD. And a faceoff will come in the Bulldog zone with 38 seconds to go in the power play. 2:24 to go here in the second period. Not to say Ben Steves does it wrong. He's just a bit smaller than Jack Devine, so you see Ben Steves in his highlight reel. It looks a little bit different. He's getting the puck on and off his stick so quickly. He's a different kind of shooter maybe than Jack Devine is, the way that he got to 25 compared to the way that Steves got 24.
Yeah, Devine's a bigger player, and Steves' release is second to none in college hockey. Just unbelievable release. And you can see there's more than one way to be a top goal scorer in college hockey.
UMD was in offside on that dump attempt, so a faceoff will come here at center ice. A couple of comebacks last weekend against St. Cloud State for UMD, and so this is a position they've been in before. St. Cloud State was a bit of a wounded duck when they were here at Amsoil Arena last weekend. It seemed Denver exactly the opposite. I feel like since the holiday break, they've gotten better and better. They did split last weekend to close the regular season against Colorado College. But if UMD can find a way to keep this game 2-0 and then get the next one, whether it's this period or early in the third, then it's going to be a horse race to the finish, I think.
Yeah, I think they just need something to give them a little life, a little confidence. A goal would be just a huge boost.
Steves is out of the penalty box. He wanted the puck, as you saw. He doesn't get it, as UMD couldn't find a passing lane. We're back to 5-on-5. The penalty kill again does its job for the Bulldogs. 90 seconds to play here in the second period. Can UMD find one before the break? Wrap it around to the near side. Perkins on his horse through neutral. He's cut off at the blue line by Shea Bouillon. And Denver will control with 1:15 to go. At the line to the far side, Biondi. Joined by Bass defending for UMD. The puck to the middle. It's cleared away by Johnson. A long shot is gloved and held with 1 minute exactly to play in the period.
Yeah, and I don't know if UMD's fumbled a couple of easy passes in the last few minutes, and I don't know if that's fatigue or not. One thing we haven't talked about is the elevation. I played out there myself, and it is a real thing. It does take a little bit of time to adjust. Certainly, I think by game 2 or even the third period or so, you just tend to get a little tired a little quicker. There's a little advantage there for the Pioneers, to be sure.
UMD was supposed to fly out on Wednesday night to Denver, ended up getting their flight delayed. They got in Thursday morning without too much trouble, so no real excuse there, but a bit of a longer travel out to Denver than they anticipated. At some point with the snowstorm that was predicted, we were thinking this might become a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday series, but they avoided Snowmageddon and were able to get in. And luckily these games, and also the games in Colorado College just up the road, can go on as scheduled in the quarterfinal round of the league playoffs here. Mangini toward the front. That found Davis. Fighting for position was Bettens. Final 30 seconds now of the second period. This is Devine. He's got a step. Devine, he scores over the glove hand. Jack Devine, his second of the night. It's 3-0 Denver.
Well, there you see him using his big body and getting in, and just, I thought maybe Thiessen was going to cut that angle, but boy, he made no mistake about it and just buried it, and you can't blame the goalie on that one, by the way. But this is why he's the leading goal scorer in the league right here.
We talked about how he can get some greasy goals around the top of the crease. He can also score highlight reel goals. His second of the night, 27th of the year for Jack Devine, the first team all-conference pick this week. And that could be a backbreaker for UMD in this game. Just 24 seconds away from the intermission. It's now 3-0 Pioneers.
That's just a real tough one to give up with under a minute left. And, it's going to leave a big hole to dig out of in the third period for the Bulldogs.
Center from the near side, that was Matica. And now some words exchanged between Thompson and Lowhite as we near the close here of the second period. Still not out of the woods are UMD. Denver with an offensive zone faceoff here, the way the faceoffs have been. If Denver's able to win it clean, they could get another shot at or two at the UMD goal. Two guys that were just exchanging pleasantries will take this face-off. Aiden Thompson and Luke Lowhite. It's won by Denver. They fumbled it a bit at the top of the circle, fortunately for UMD, and it will come out to center ice. The second period will come to a close. Denver tacks on two more, both of them from the league's leading goal scorer, Jack Devine. The Pioneers lead the Bulldogs 3-0 after two periods there at Magnus Arena. We'll take a break. The Super One Foods Intermission Report starts right after this on My9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Welcome back to Amsoil Arena in Duluth, where they have turned out the majority of the lights on us. Zach Schneider, Jason Watt back with you in our lonely My9 Sports broadcast booth, and it seems like the Denver Pioneers with those two back-to-back goals from Jack Devine have done largely the same. They've turned out the lights, it seems, with 20 minutes still to play there at Magnus Arena, but our hopes are slimmer than they were at the start of that second period for UMD.
Yeah, I thought UMD had it going the way they wanted at 1-0, the pace of the game. They kind of maybe had Denver a little frustrated. They couldn't get anything going on the power plays. And then Jack Devine strikes, and, you can see why and who he is with 27 goals now on the season. And now it seems like a real, I don't want to say insurmountable. We've seen teams score 3 goals in a period, but it's going to be a very, very tough uphill climb. And it also goes to say if you're going to win, you're going to go into a building like this and take 2 out of 3. It's you want to get that first game. Then you're almost kind of playing with house money the rest of the weekend. So the Bulldogs have a huge monumental challenge here in the third.
Yeah, and one thing they were able to maintain through last weekend series to close out the regular season against St. Cloud State was energy. They kept energy at important points of the game. They would score a big goal, get a big penalty kill, and now it feels like a lot like the energy has been zapped from that UMD locker room with that Devine goal inside of 30 seconds to go in the second period. But hey, you never know. Weirder things have happened. There's still 20 minutes of regulation to play there at Magnus Arena. The Pioneers are leading the Bulldogs 3-0 at this point through 2 periods of play. We will take a break here in Duluth. The Super One Foods Intermission Report continues right after this on My9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. We'll get you back out to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado, Magnus Arena, where the Pioneers lead the Bulldogs 3-0 after 2 periods. Still 20 minutes of regulation to go for the Bulldogs, but they will need some goals, and they'll need some goals quickly. Denver outshot UMD 14-1 in that second period. They tacked on 2 more goals, both from their leading scorer, Jack Devine, and they've got a 3-0 lead going into this third and final period.
Yeah, they just took over about halfway through that period. Bulldogs looked a little tired. And I think it mentally wears on you too, Zach, when you're not getting enough offensive opportunities. You're not really breaking through. It does start, you realize you're just playing with fire and you're trying to keep it a 1-goal game and you're not getting any offensive push. It does mentally wear on a team, and I think, very critical first 5 minutes of this period, really, for the Bulldogs, if they're going to have any chance at all to make a game of this thing.
Yeah, you and I were kind of talking during the intermission off camera, and just the lack of exciting moments in the game for UMD, let alone the lack of goals. You're being shut out now 3-0, but they need something to insert some emotion into the game. I thought maybe they were going to get it from a big save from Matthew Thiessen, but they haven't really thrown a big hit or gotten a shot on goal that almost went in. Yep. They just need something to kind of ignite the spark again. Do the Bulldogs. We'll see if they can get it here early in the third period. Shea Bouillon trying to go cross ice with it. Gets it back now at center ice. Lost a handle once more. Biondi has it for the Bulldogs. He moves it ahead for Perkins at the line. Into the circle, fires a shot. Davis makes the stop. They've already got as many shots in this period as they did in the entire second period, so a baby step forward maybe for UMD.
Hey, why not? Get it on net. Again, we talked about get it on net. And if there's been a weakness that sort of been the MO or the book on Denver is maybe the goaltending isn't quite as strong as their D-core and their forwards. Not saying it's weak goaltending, but it's certainly, I don't think, quite as strong as their defensive unit and their forward unit. So that's, Bulldogs just haven't been able to really sustain any pressure to exploit that.
And Matt Davis, since he's been back, has been better than it was in the early going. But yeah, I think you're right. Of the 3 phases for Denver, that might be the weakest of the 3. But that's only because the other 2 are among the best in the country. Bast moves it ahead through center. UMD can't control it cleanly. It comes to Bouillon on the near side. Tipped in now by the Pioneers as they go to work. Just go zone to zone. They hope this is a relatively uneventful third period and that they can mark down win number 1 here in this best of 3 NCHC quarterfinal. We know we'll have game 2 tomorrow night. That one will come at 7 o'clock Central Time for those of you watching at home. And then if the Bulldogs, or if the teams split, I suppose we should say, if the teams split those first 2 games, then we'll play a decisive game 3 on Sunday night. That one also would come at 7 o'clock Central Time. Rink wide, here come the Bulldogs. Centering pass, bouncing puck, and in the circle it bounces to Thompson, who will center now, walking in. Webster, saved by Thiessen. Upended was Webster. That's a good save from Thiessen to keep it a 3-goal margin here early in the third period. UMD came with numbers back the other direction, fumbled the puck at the blue line. Now it's Fisher, tried to fire from the far side. In on the crease it comes. Digging it free are the Bulldogs. And Davis looked like he thought that one was covered when it wasn't, just in front of the goal of the Pioneers. 2.5 minutes gone here in the third period. Mangini is offside at the line, and the face-off back to center ice. We'll get another look at that Webster chance just in front. Stick save made by Matthew Thiessen for UMD.
I think he lost his balance there, and I don't think that Gallatin got him. I don't know. It was odd. It looked like he hit an edge or something, and that flew off the shot. But at any rate, nice save by Thiessen, and 4 is definitely, things over at 4. So Bulldogs, try to break games up in segments. So you can pop one by the 10-minute mark, you're down 3-1. You pop one by the 5-minute mark, it's 3-2. That's kind of what you tell yourself as a coach. What Sandy's probably saying in the locker room is, you got to get the first one before you get the second. So
yeah, some of the numbers that are working against the Bulldogs right now. Denver 21-1-2 this season when leading after 2 periods of play. The Pioneers also 20-0-0 when holding their opponents to 3 goals or fewer. That will hold true here today. If UMD is going to win it, they need to score more than 3 goals. But Denver, when they can get to 3, they've been really good this year. And when they've been leading with 20 minutes to go, the Pioneers have been really good this year, both of which have happened here tonight. Bouncing puck out in front of the rebound at the far side of the crease. They couldn't get to it. It comes to Zeev Buyum on the far side. He makes a move, top of the circle, a long shot, hit bodies, and bounces to UMD's Bettens, who clears to center ice. Back on the attack of the Pioneers.
Well, in Denver, you can be assured is, they're not going to stop attacking and forechecking, as you can see here, but they're going to keep a third guy maybe a little extra higher with that 3-goal lead. It's not like you're going into a shell, but you're just making sure you've got that third guy back to not give the Bulldogs a cheap one.
Lorenz shoots it behind the Bulldogs' goal, around to the far side corner, right on the chase, has it taken away by McMenamin for UMD. Goetz gets some help there. Now right centers, and that was just out of the reach. It comes to Olsen for UMD. He starts the charge across the line. Tried to spin away from the check of Shea Buyum on the far, or the near boards rather. And Denver digs it out of that pile. This is Buyum across the line. 1-on-5 right now as the Pioneers are changing. He does well behind the goal. Still protects the puck though. He's a bit bigger body than his brother. Does really well protecting the puck. There's Shea Buyum. Now Buckberger has it at the point. Into the circle it goes. Nearly 5 minutes gone here in the third period. That one got through. Thiessen had to make the save. Into the corner it goes, and UMD will dig it free and move it to center ice. This is Steves. Has Gallatin jumping up in the play with him. Tries to drive wide on Zeev Buyum. Perkins in the far side circle. Try to move it toward the middle. It comes to the near boards. Denver wins that battle. Devine, though, had it poked away by Dubinsky. He tried to get it back, and the centering pass through the top of the crease. Shea Buyum out to center ice. Just across the blue line. Steves gloves it down and shoots it back in for the Bulldogs. Past the 5-minute mark is UMD trying whatever it can to inject some life into this hockey game. Takeaway now by Webster. Centers one through the crease area. Nobody in on the attack with him. And the Bulldogs now have it taken away by Thompson. He slides it in the circle. Buyum. This is Zeev, backhander. Saved by Thiessen. Directs it to the near corner. Buyum gives away now to Matica. Bouncing puck taken in the circle and flipped to center by the Bulldogs. They wave off the icing. Barons to Zeev Buyum. He evades the UMD forechecker. That's Perkins. Rink wide. Shot into the near side boards. Webster back behind the goal. Matica has it taken away by Gallatin. Up the far side boards. Here come the Bulldogs. 4-on-3 as they come through neutral ice. At the far side, Clevin is separated from the puck. Thompson will step in there along with Ashcroft. Back to the point it comes for UMD. Pierce, long shot, that was blocked. Gallatin tried to fire one toward the middle. Johnson in a sharp angle. Off the boards, back to the point, it's Pierce. Pierce delays.
Shoot that puck.
Tried to give it to Mangini on the half boards. Has it again, long shot. That one got through. Might have been wide of the goal, might have caught the side of the cage. And now an icing will be called here on Denver. Best offensive pressure maybe of the entire game for UMD.
Yeah, they're moving their feet, getting in it, playing the body on Denver, making life difficult for those defensemen, moving the puck around. Pierce, I thought, passed up a shot earlier he could have taken there. He kind of moved it back to the wall and threw it back in the corner. I think it's imperative, just he had guys in front, get everything to the net right now. See if you can get a greasy one, get something through a screen, a deflection, anything. Just keep testing Davis, and it starts with the forecheck, though, Zach. And as you pointed out, that's probably the best shift of the game. That certainly since the middle of the first period, anyway.
Timeout, Denver.
Denver will use its timeout here after that icing call didn't allow the Pioneers to change. So taking no chances is the Denver head coach David Carl, as his team protects a 3-goal lead now midway through the third period.
Yeah, probably a wise timeout for Carl. You got tired guys out there. UMD can get fresh guys. They're coming off their best shift of the game, and anything to break up any little momentum that UMD's generating. So, if I'm a Denver fan, I like that timeout.
Take a look at what else is happening around the league here. North Dakota knocked off Miami. Game 1 of their best-of-3 series. Omaha is beating Colorado College. That would be an upset, as would the bottom score, Western Michigan, beating St. Cloud State. So 2 of the lower seeds leading 3-1 in the third period. North Dakota, the league champs this year, they roll over the 8-seed Miami. So far, Denver, the 2-seed, is rolling over UMD, but the 3-6 and the 4-5 games, it's the lower seed that has the advantage right now, Waddy.
Pretty log jammed, isn't it, in the NCHC? And those 3 through 6 this year, really almost 1 through 6 has really been pretty tight this year. But hard to, they are. Those are the underdogs, but you're going to always favor the home team. But those are toss-up series, really. So I would expect really both those series to possibly go 3 games.
Well, if I saw correctly in the graphics, St. Cloud State might have pulled, as we were talking, back to within 1 at 3-2. Here it is 3-0 Denver. UMD trying to get something to say about it. McMenamin tried to load up the one-timer. Couldn't fire for the Bulldogs. It goes to the far side. Held in there. Low height, the UMD captain battles with Shea Bouillon. It comes back to the near side. Olsen. It was just out of his reach. He leaves for McMenamin on the near boards. Has it back now from Dubinsky. Long shot, McMenamin. It's blocked back to center ice. It's really where a lot of the shots have come from, Waddy. Even the ones that UMD has put on net, they've come from really the non-dangerous scoring areas. You and I were talking, what's the best scoring chance that UMD's had tonight? It might have been Kyle Bettens in the second period. It was just knocked away. It didn't even register a shot on goal, but it was maybe the most exciting offensive play that UMD's had.
Yeah, everything's been from the outside. Denver's just done a great job, again, letting Davis see the puck, clearing lanes out, keeping things to the outside. They've just played a really solid defensive game, and they've been opportunistic with their chances.
12 minutes to go here in regulation. 3-0 the score. UMD desperate to put something behind Matt Davis, but right now the puck in their defensive zone. Steves, the takeaway, but Lemire plays it there. Spinning a shot on net was Capone. It might have been actually just wide. Now back to the point. Barons holds. Tried to center to Denver. Dubinsky, the takeaway. Actually, that's Bast on the far side for the Bulldogs. He has it pinned up against the boards. And now Goetz has it for the Bulldogs. He'll relieve the pressure and skate to center ice. Ahead for Steves. Long shot from center. That was in on goal. Davis directs it away, and a bouncing puck comes back to center ice. Mangini can't control cleanly. Rink wide, it comes for Loney. He flips it ahead. They're in ahead of the play and offside, so they'll have to tag up. Puck ahead of Rose the other way for Denver. Into the corner it goes. Gallatin over, separates body from puck. Loney helps it along to Bettens. Mangini fights through a check. Bettens now a 2-on-1 as Pierce jumps up. Bettens couldn't find him as he went to the top of the crease. Instead gives to Mangini in the corner as we approach the halfway point now of period number 3. Pierce tried to move down the far boards, has it taken away and flipped to center ice. At the Denver line, walking into the circle, a shot, rebound out in front, Fisher fired one just wide. Johnson was cross-checked behind the goal. I'm not sure we have a penalty coming. We do. And UMD will go to the power play when we come back. A must-score spot for the Bulldogs on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Well, UMD has to score here, their fourth Minnesota power play of the game. Down 3-0, midway point of the third period. Long shot out in front, and a chance right off the face-off. Never got to Davis, but a good quick look. With 1:51 still to go, just 9 seconds gone in this power play for UMD.
Yeah, this would seem to be a must score. It really is. You pop one here, then hey, see what happens. You got a little momentum. So you've had, a top power play in the country all year. Can it show up right here against a top team in the country and at least create some life for this Bulldog team? We shall see.
Lohite won the first faceoff on this power play, and you see how quickly things can happen. Pionk fires it to the net. It caroms around, pinballs in front. Creates a scoring chance in just 9 seconds. Another important faceoff here for UMD. It's their captain, Lohite, taking it. He wins it. Back to Pionk at the point, across for Steves. One-timer on the glove side. Fluttering puck. Didn't look like he got all of it. Olsen. Back to Steves. That might have been his first attempted shot of the hockey game. Into the circle it goes. Saved by Davis.
You can see how far they're cheating out on Steves, and it opens it up down low. So
Steves has it at the point. A long shot that was blocked and cleared by the Pioneers.
I think Steves could be a little bit frustrated right now, and I think the key is just let the game come to you. Don't force it. He made a really nice play earlier, Zach, that led to a great opportunity when he moved it over across the blue line.
Now it's Olsen. Almost 60 seconds gone on the power play for UMD. Back to the point, Lohite. Pionk now, middle point. Across for Steves. Olsen in the circle. Centers for Lohite. Couldn't get a stick free. Dubinsky feeds the point. Pionk will hold at the blue line. Walks to the middle. Back to Dubinsky on the far side. Pionk. Left side point now. Across for Olsen. Missed the one-timer. Dubinsky to the point, Pionk. Lohite tried to feed Steves in the high slot. It's knocked away from him and out to center ice. A great effort by the killer there. I think it might have been Aiden Thompson for Denver who got that puck knocked away from Ben Steves. 8.5 minutes to play in regulation. Still 20 seconds to go on the power play. Some halfway decent looks for UMD, but still not much dangerous to the front of Matt Davis. And it looks like another power play that will go by the wayside for the Bulldogs. A good kill here for Denver, and they'll maintain their 3-goal lead with just over 8 minutes to play.
They needed to get something on that power play just to get any kind of momentum or energy going, and they had some puck movement on it, just couldn't quite couldn't get anything close enough.
There's a look at that one-timer by Steves. I still don't think he got all of that one.
No, he didn't get all of that one.
High on the glove side. Davis got a piece of it, but it was well over the crossbar anyhow. We've seen Steve score from out there. They win the face-off here. It is UMD as the power play now officially over. Back to 5-on-5. Burrows 1-on-3 as he enters the zone. They'll get the lines back how they want him. Behrens tries to center, and it was knocked away by a couple Bulldogs. Perkins will flip it to center ice. Behrens across the red line, flips it to the far corner. Goats back to play it there for UMD. It's taken away by Denver as the Bulldogs tried to clear, and now a chance for the Bulldogs. This is Clevin to Biondi. Behrens back defensively for the Pioneers. Knocks Clevin to the ice. The puck is underneath him. As you see a couple Pioneers whacking at it, they dig it free with 7.5 minutes to go in the third period. We said it at the last media timeout, Jason. Denver has really just kind of choked the life out of UMD ever since opening up that multiple goal lead. Even before it was 3-0, you could feel when it was 2-0, a lot of the life sucked away from the visitors' bench there in Denver.
It just shows what a quality hockey team they are. I mean, it's not great viewing. It's not great hockey watching, but Denver just knows how to finish these games off. It reminds you of those Bulldog teams, right? 10 years in a row going to the NCAA tournaments where they just knew how to close games out. And Denver's certainly showing so far with 7 minutes left. They're just content to get pucks deep, make UMD come 200 feet. Always got that third man high. There's always guys back. They've got good back pressure. See, there's 2 guys there. There's no room for UMD to breathe out there right now. So.
Yeah, it really does feel like the Bulldog teams we saw maybe in the last 5 to 10 years, because they've got such high-end talent on their team. We've talked about Zeev Buyam, we've talked about Jack Devine, Sean Behrens, and we saw the highlight reel goal from Devine to close out that second period, but the highlight reel plays are not what define this Denver team. If you're a fan of this Denver team, I'm sure it's really exciting to watch them play hockey like this every Friday, Saturday. If you're an opponent, this has been kind of a ho-hum game that they've been in control of since really the drop of the puck at 8:07.
Yeah, you can see some flashes of their top-end guys, but besides the first goal, really, from Webster, which was a really highly skilled play, they've kind of just ground UMD out a little bit. They kind of, you talked about the ground game earlier, and Denver was able to match it, quite honestly. So it's been an impressive display by the Pioneers.
6 minutes still to go, but the more time ticks away, the more the time remaining seems somewhat irrelevant, as Denver protects the 3-goal lead. And unless something changes, UMD will need to win back-to-back games to keep their season alive. It's 3-0 there in Colorado, late in the third period on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. .550 to go, third period. Steve Buyam and the Denver Pioneers looking every bit the part as a true title contender in this year's NCAA tournament. They lead the Bulldogs 3-0 now late in the third period. Net empty here for the Bulldogs coming out of that media timeout, so 6-on-5. They skate with 5.5 minutes to play and down by 3. Can't remember a time I've seen Scott Sandlin be quite so aggressive with pulling his goaltender, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's what we have here.
Well, why not? Whenever you're 6-on-5, you just automatically play more desperate. You don't have a goalie, so it ramps up the intensity level for both teams. So should be hopefully a little bit of fun here to watch anyway.
See if UMD can get anything going with the extra man. McMenamin pushed off the play by Zeev Buyam. Down to the ice is McMenamin. The puck underneath there. It pops out to the point and to center ice past Ben Steeves. Past the 5-minute mark now of regulation. And that'll be an icing on the Bulldogs, which will force Matthew Thiessen back on the ice. Get another look here, I believe, at the hit from Buyam as he pushes McMenamin off the puck.
Yeah.
It's a good visual for what this entire game has felt like for UMD.
Yeah, and boy, he's obviously really impressive with the puck, but it was quite a physical play there. So
Thiessen back. We'll see if, I assume he would go as soon as UMD gets possession of the puck in the offensive zone. Again, we'll be back with you for sure tomorrow night, no matter how this game ends up. 7 o'clock, 1 hour earlier. We'll have the drop of the puck from out there in Colorado. And then, assuming this scoreline holds, if UMD is able to win tomorrow's Game 2, Game 3 will be Sunday at that same 7 o'clock time. Walking in is Shea Buyam. Now he centers after the puck hopped over his stick. Biondi picks it up with 4:15 to play. He'll skate it forward. I assume Thiessen has left the goal for UMD. Nice move by Biondi in on goal. And Davis makes the save. There's Thiessen to the bench for the extra attacker. That might have been the best chance of the night, and Davis turns it aside for Denver. Long shot. Dubinsky tipped in front and wide. Mangini picks it up in the corner. Back to the point, Perkins. Mangini in the circle. He fires, saved by Davis. Wrapped around to the near side boards. Bettens has it taken away. Thompson skates it to center to the far side at the empty net. It's knocked away by Perkins. 3:30 to play. Moving it ahead at the line. Bettens tried to get it past Buyum. Bouncing puck finds the stick of Thompson, who will clear it to center ice for the Pioneers. McMenamin has it now at center. Low height, poked away from him. Back out to center ice. Lorenz at the empty net. That was wide. Pionk has it for the Bulldogs. Tries to skate it out of trouble. It's in his skates. Forces it out to center. Pretty good bit of skill there from Aaron Pionk. Eventually it's taken away. Kieran Sabrian just will fire it in. And Low height has it now for the Bulldogs. Out to center ice. McMenamin for Olsen. He shoots it around to the far side. Steves. McMenamin. Steves wraps it around to the near point. 2.5 minutes to play, third period. UMD just trying to maybe break up the shutout, prove you can score before tomorrow night's game 2. One-timer, Dubinsky turned aside by Davis. Back to the point. Across for Steves, fakes the shot, walks to the middle now. Far side circle, his shot blocked in the end. Low height takes a hit, gives to McMenamin, now Olsen. 2:15 to go, 6-on-5 for UMD. Long shot, blocked down in front, comes to Olsen on the near side. Pionk for Dubinsky in the slot, a shot up out of play with 2:04 to go in the third period.
Boy, they had it. Some tired Denver defenders out there and had some chances. Probably the most action of the game, but just you can see Biondi there cutting to the net, just couldn't quite bury it short side. But yeah, like it'd be good to bury one just going into tomorrow night, Zach, just to get one by this guy, maybe get a little positive mojo going. You know.
6-on-5 still with the empty net for UMD. They win the faceoff. Bast has it near the blue line. Shovels it to the near side. Gallatin, sharp angle, saved by Davis. Comes up the boards now. The net has been empty since about the 5.5-minute mark. Denver has had a couple looks at it, unable to cash in, which maybe keeps the slimmest of hopes alive for UMD. Perkins wraps it around behind the goal. Bettens for Mangini. Bettens, those two play catch along the near boards. Quick release there from Clevin. No, that was Biondi in front. Bettens has it in the corner now. 90 seconds to play. Bast. Perkins. Biondi. High slot. Tried to move it to the near side to Gallatin. Bettens has it in the corner. Spins away from pressure behind the goal. UMD, this unit, hasn't gotten much to the front of the goal with just over 60 seconds to go. The puck hops back out to center ice. And even with the net empty, UMD unable to generate a lot of offensive pressure. The first unit did a pretty good job, but unable to follow it up was the second group over the boards.
Yeah, it's all bad angle shots and everything from the outside. Denver's just kept it real tight to their net and just defended exceptionally.
Shea Buyum flips it out to center ice. UMD back on the attack. This is McMenamin. 35 seconds to go, and the hill going to be too high to climb tonight for UMD. Thompson takes it away. Denver will add the empty netter, and the Pioneers will get the Game 1 win in this NCHC quarterfinal series. 4-0 the score. Connor Capone puts the finishing touches on a pretty dominant performance here on Friday night by Denver.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, UMD hung in there for a little while at 1-0. But in the end, I mean, once Denver got 2, then they got 3, and then it was just lights out. They just sort of choked the life out of UMD, really. I mean, UMD just didn't really generate any offense to speak of for most of this game. And really an impressive display by Denver. You can really see the skill they have throughout the lineup. And, you know, if Davis is the weak link, and I'm not saying he necessarily is, if he is weak link, he wasn't really exposed tonight by the Bulldogs. So when the Bulldogs did have a few chances, he was there to answer the bell too. So
they tested him a little bit more in the closing stages of that third period, but certainly not enough, and they'll need to do more against the top scoring team in the country. Denver did its job. They scored 4, and Matt Davis backstops the win. A shutout for the Pioneers here in game number 1, 4-0 the final. And now a must-win game 2 tomorrow night for UMD. The season rests on one game from here on out. Lose and you are done. If you are the Bulldogs, 4-0 the final there at Magnus Arena in Colorado. We'll take a break, bring you back here to Amsoil Arena in Duluth to wrap things up here on this Friday night on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Welcome back here to Amsoil Arena in Duluth. 4-0 the final. Denver gets the win in Game 1 of the NCHC quarterfinal series against UMD. Zach Schneider, Jason Watt, back with you in our My 9 Sports broadcast booth here in Duluth. Sometimes when we do these games on the road, Waddy, I feel like a madman sitting in an empty, quiet, dark Amsoil Arena screaming to myself. Nothing to scream about tonight if you're on the UMD side of things. 4-0 the final, and they'll have to win not only Game 2 tomorrow, but Game 3 on Sunday night to advance.
Yeah, you really wanted to try to get this first one. If you're going to pull off the upset, you feel like you're playing with house money, if you can steal one on a Friday night. So they've got a real big uphill climb. Denver, just very professional performance tonight, just very workmanlike, made it look pretty routine, didn't they? Just great in the neutral zone, the offensive zone, their own defensive zone, just all 3 phases of the game, and just didn't let UMD get many chances.
With a lot of players up and down their roster who have a lot of flash, the Denver game doesn't have a very flashy side to it. It's a lot of substance what you see out of the Pioneers.
It really is. I mean, that's the thing about them is you can see they kind of have that look, don't they? I mean, again, we talked during one of the breaks. I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of the teams in the top 10 play. I haven't seen a couple of the Eastern teams like Boston College, Boston University. If those teams are better than Denver and there's another level, I would be shocked because I don't think there might be teams as good as Denver. It'd be hard pressed to see if there's someone out there that's better than Denver. So, be interesting. Bulldogs have a real tough challenge for themselves tomorrow night.
One more game guaranteed in the season. That comes tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's Game 2 of this best of 3 against the Pioneers. If the Bulldogs are successful in that, the two teams will play again on Sunday in a decisive Game 3 there at Magnus Arena in Denver, Colorado. We're going to take a break, bring you back one more time to wrap things up here from Amsoil Arena in Duluth on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. 4-0 the final. Denver gets the Friday night win here in Game 1 against UMD, and we've talked about it now. At this point of the year, you have to flush that game and get ready for Game 2, a chance to save the season tomorrow night for UMD.
Yeah, these guys all have a lot of pride. The coaching staff has pride. The players have pride. They're going to want to come out and give it their best shot tomorrow night. I think they'll let it hang out tomorrow. They've gotten into Denver now. They're acclimated. I mean, I think you're going to see a little more of a spirited performance. You'll probably see they might activate the D a little more and just attack. They've got to get on the board. So, I mean, I think, this team's not going to go down without a fight, but they're up against a real solid team without any no weaknesses really on that Denver team.
We looked earlier in the broadcast at the scores around the NCHC. North Dakota had already beaten Miami. St. Cloud State, a comeback win tonight over Western Michigan to beat the Broncos on home ice, and Omaha is still beating Colorado College 3-2 late in that game, so maybe a bit of an upset brewing just up the road in Colorado. Maybe it's something in the water out west, but certainly it's always fun when you get to this time of year in the NCHC for UMD. We know the situation. They lose again this season, and their year is done. It starts tomorrow with a win or go home game against Denver in Game 2 of this series. Also a win or go home game tomorrow afternoon for the UMD women as they play in the NCAA quarterfinals against top-ranked ranked Ohio State. So 2 big games tomorrow. One may be bigger than the other, as
Yeah.
for the women, a spot in the Frozen Four is on the line, but a winner-go-home scenario there against the Buckeyes, and then we'll be back on the air tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with Game 2 of this series between the UMD men and the Pioneers. For now, from Amsoil Arena here in Duluth, for Jason Watt, our director Ryan Skorich, thank you for joining us. We hope we can see you again tomorrow night. We hope tomorrow night, not the last time we'll see you. We hope we can be back here on Sunday night and that the Bulldogs can get a win. It's the Pioneers that take Game 1, though, 4-0 the final here on Friday night. We will be back with you tomorrow. Until then, hockey fans, so long.